Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Shankly Sessions, the Liverpool podcast we bring you each and every week out there on the upper tier. Smash the subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell notification, be notified when we go live. I am your host, Niall, the host of the Shankly Sessions. This is your preview for Brighton versus Liverpool. Probably the last game we needed, considering the little sort of run we're on at the moment after being slaughtered by Brentford and then taken apart by Wolves. Just hang on there 1 second. Back to you in 2 seconds. No, sorry about that. Just a delivery at the door, and it's like a storm out there here at the moment in Wicklow. Unbelievable. But yeah, as we were saying, a massive game for the Reds, coming off the back of some poor results. The draw against Wolves, which we were very lucky to have, to keep us in the FA Cup and keep our run of domestic trophies, hopefully trying to win some domestic silverware. But then we have Brighton up next now at the Amex, and that's not going to be easy. That's going to be really, really difficult. I also have the good luck charmers here with me. Ronnie, named after the great man Ronnie Whelan. Hopefully he'll bring us some luck on Saturday. Jesus, dog. Sorry about that. But yeah, let's get into this preview. A real tough one. De Serbi absolutely doing a great job at Brighton at the moment. Fantastic job. They've become somewhat of a bogey team for us, I would say, in terms of how they play. Very similar to Brentford, insofar as they figured out about bypassing the midfield, which is an interesting ploy from them. If you look the way Brentford did it as well, so quick to hit the front men. And when they did that, we just couldn't deal with it, like a sort of creating this kind of chaos that we had to try and deal with. But I think if our hopes and realistic about trying to get a top four spot, I think this is a game we actually have to win. We have a lot of big games coming up in the next few weeks, no less on the horizon. Double game against Real Madrid in the Champions League, which is going to be really, really tough. But nonetheless, if we're realistic about top four hopes, these are games that you have to try and win, especially with the run that we're on at the moment. Need to get back to winning ways. For Brighton, they're coming into the game in good form. Absolutely thumped Middlesbrough 5-1. Found it a little bit hard work at the beginning. It was a kind of back and forth thing. Michael Carrick doing a fantastic job there at Middlesbrough. Was on a fantastic run. I think that was his first loss since he took over, and he was on a run of, I think, 7 or 8 wins or something like that. But they progressed through, whereas we have an extra game now. We have to go to Molineux now to try and qualify for the next round of the FA Cup. And lo and behold, who have we got waiting for us? Brentford again, which won't be easy. They'll also welcome back Alexis McAllister, World Cup winner as well. He's going to come back into the fold this weekend, so he'll give the team a huge lift. I know he came on there for the FA Cup game and stuff like that, made a huge difference. And it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a real, real tough game, this one. So we shall see what happens. Also, we know that, like, Nunes and Cancelo are going to be on display, no doubt. So the gaffer will be taking a look at them, and of course we'd welcome them in if they came in as signings. But this weekend we don't want them to play well. We want them to kind of flatter to deceive, basically, against us. Also, Trossard will be playing as well. We know we've been linked recently to Trossard as well. Everyone knows on the podcast how much I value him. I think he's a very, very good player. I think he could do some real good stuff if he was in the Liverpool side. I've always valued him. His work rate is second to none. and he's a very clever, very skillful player. Him, Gross, and Sully March are serious players. In the comments, big up, Kyle. How you doing, my man? Looking forward to being on your show tonight. Yeah, we have a show tonight, folks. Thursday Tier Talk. We're going to be previewing the North London Derby. We'll obviously be talking about the Manchester one as well. And we'll be doing the usual stuff, previewing the Premier League, latest transfer news, and dropping our bets and beat the bookie as well. But Kyle's going to be coming on the show tonight along with Morris, and Del Boy might be able to make it as well, hopefully. And we'll have a good chat about where the Arsenal are at the moment in the North London Derby. Massive 2 games at the weekend in terms of the title race. Coyle back in again. I love Trossard. I'd love to have him with us. Yeah, he's a solid player, and he's 100%, and you never see him really have a bad game. He's always up there in the 7 or 8s in the ratings and stuff like that, and a very, very clever player. And I would also say as well, a very unselfish player as well. Real team player, great guy you'd have around it, and could do big things at Arsenal as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Also, don't forget, folks, if you're on as well, check out Kyle's channel as well, Kyle Walsh Gunner. Check out his channel as well, and make sure you drop a subscribe and share the love and all that good stuff as well. Now, current form at the moment, not dissimilar for both of us. We're both on 4 wins and 2 losses in the Premier League in terms of our form, but certainly they're coming in better form than us. We're coming off the back, obviously, of that poor loss to Brentford, an absolute capitulation by the team. And then the Wolves game in the FA Cup as well, where it was just an absolute struggle. And in the end, we were very lucky with some of those decisions. Let's get into team news. The only player missing for Brighton at the moment, as far as I know, is Jacob Moder. He's a guaranteed absentee. McAllister should return. So that means probably Lallana will probably drop to the bench. Nice little option to have there, Adam Lallana as well, ex-Liverpool boy as well. I'm sure he'll be introduced at some stage. Evan Ferguson, of course, who's really making waves there at the moment, who's come in. Fantastic, tidy player there as well. Doing the business. He's sure to start up front. For Liverpool, we may as well go to the local hospital in Liverpool over there and talk about it, because it's basically Diogo Jota, of course, Arthur Melo still out, Luis Diaz still out, Virgil van Dijk has joined them. Who else? There's more than that, I'm sure. But James Milner and Roberto Firmino could come back into contention. Firmino would be an interesting one, because he could be a real important option from the bench for us. And we'll talk into the starting lineups and stuff like that shortly. And I have a view on the starting lineup. Let me know what you think. I would imagine that Cody Gakpo should start. He'll probably retain his place. The boy came out the other day, he was quite honest about his performance against Wolves. Some decent little moments and then some sloppiness really, but only in the door, only trained with the team a couple of times and trying to get used to new surroundings and all that, young lad and stuff. So we'll see how he gets on. And also Joel Matip and Ibrahim Konate, of course, continue in central defence. I would imagine Virgil van Dijk out for another couple of weeks. Let's get into the lineups for Brighton. We have Sanchez, fantastic goalkeeper. Sanchez, Lamptey, Dunk, Webster, Espininen, Caicedo, Gross, March, McAllister, Matoma, and Ferguson. That sort of triple to 4 there. That Caicedo, Gross, March, McAllister kind of setup there is really, really powerful, and way more powerful than us in the middle of the park. That's for sure. But again, they might deploy this whole thing of hitting the front men very quickly. They like the battle in midfield and stuff like that. And we've seen it even last year in Anfield when I was at the match. They certainly won the battle in midfield. Took us asunder. And again, it was another day where we were very lucky to walk away with a point. But these are a real footballing team. The Amex Stadium, a really tough place to go. The Serbia is doing really good stuff there at the moment. Brighton, they're playing really, really good football. And sometimes even when they concede and all, it doesn't affect them and all. They just stick to their game plan and they play within their strengths. Very, very well coached and some really tidy footballers in that side. Hence the reason so many teams in the Premier League at the top end go to Brighton to look to sign players and stuff like that. We know Cucurella went off to Chelsea. We know Liverpool are heavily linked with Caicedo. We're also heavily linked with Matheus Nunes. We were heavily linked with Basuma when he was there, and now there's links apparently coming out now in relation to Trossard. So this is the kind of players that Brighton is producing and stuff like that, and the footballers of a very high quality. For Liverpool, our starting lineup, Alisson, of course, in the sticks, he'll be dying to get back in there and make amends for that howler he had against Wolves. We wouldn't hold that against him. He's been fantastic for us this season, and been one of the shining lights really in the team in terms of performance and at a certain level consistently. Trent at the back, Matip, Konate, Robertson, Hendo, Fabinho, and Thiago in the middle of the park. And you would imagine it's going to be Salah, Nunes, and Gakpo. But an interesting one on that lineup, and I want to bring it up here so you can take a look. I'm thinking along the lines when they did that little switch the other day against Wolves, and they put Darwin out on the left. He seemed to have a lot more joy when he was out on the left in terms of the impression he could make on the game. So I'm kind of thinking maybe is it worth switching Gakpo into the middle and deploy him there in the middle with Salah on the right and Nunes on the left, but just in a kind of a tighter way of operating up front, not as wide. So I don't want Salah out hugging the line. I want Salah in a little bit more central, nearly hugging the 18-yard corner, if you like. And the same with Nunes. Again, not too wide, not too much width. Because what that does is then that opens up the opportunity for Robbo to do the runs in behind, or for Trent to do the link-up play with Salah and the runs in behind. Sometimes I'm thinking that we're not doing that link-up play that we talk about on the match reactions and stuff that just isn't there at the moment. If you look on that right-hand side there, you got Trent, Hendo, and Salah, who were playing that triangle kind of formation in terms of link-up play and stuff like that earlier on in the season, and a large portion of last season as well, where Trent would be feeling the ball into Hendo, Hendo would be feeding into Salah, and Salah then would be picking up Trent on the run around the back. That hasn't been happening at all. And I think a lot of it is because Salah's out too wide. So Salah's occupying the area where Trent probably wants to run into. And it's the same on the other side as well. Sometimes you see it as well when Robbo makes that run around pass, link-up play with Nunes if he's out there on the left or whoever it is. The other day we seen it with Gakpo as well. Sometimes they were running into each other and stuff like that, and they were occupying each other's space. And I just think at times we're just a little too clustered out wide, and we just need to squeeze it in a little bit up the front to allow that space to run in around the back for Robbo and Trent. And I think that might work better for us. Our midfield is really going to have to be at it. So Thiago, who hasn't let us down much this season. We know how sublime his passing is going forward and the positivity in his play, but we're going to be really relying on him in terms of tracking back and in terms of his defensive play as well and his defensive duties. And that's something that's been really good from him this season. He's done quite a bit of that this season. Fabinho, we need him back on it right from minute one as well, like the rest of the team. And Hendo, of course, as well. We need our captain to show up there now as an actual captain, really calling the game and doing what needs to be done. Because that midfield, that's where we've been faltering. That's where we've been winning and losing games, really. And because the midfield has been operating so poor and so imbalanced, what happens is it's creating a massive problem in the defence as well, where they're getting shot on straight away, running in, bypassing the midfield, and then it just creates this chaos and we're all over the place. We need to be better organised as well. So it's up to Ali and Matip and Konate and guys like that to organise us a little bit better in terms of set pieces and corners. We know that Brighton will try and create a lot of corners as well. They like playing from set pieces and stuff like that in corners, and that's where they can really do the damage. So we need to be really conscious of that as well. So plenty of organisation there if we do give it up, and if we don't, better again. So let's look at prediction at the moment. I think this game is going to be a belter this weekend. I know a lot of the notice is on the two derbies, and rightly so because of the top of the table and stuff like that. But I think this is going to be a cracking 3:00 game on Saturday afternoon. I think it's going to be end-to-end stuff, and I think there's going to be plenty of goals in it. We're certainly coughing up goals, but we're also trying to score goals as well to keep in games and stuff like that. So I'm hoping, I was thinking a 2-2 draw, but I'm going to go with the Reds. I'm going to go 3-2 Liverpool. That's my prediction for the weekend. I had a quick look at the betting as well. If you look at Brighton are 9-4. The draw is 5-2, and Liverpool are evens. If you want to have a little bit of a flutter, and again, we always say gamble responsibly, and we'll be covering our bets on the show tonight as well from 9 o'clock if you want to join us, and we wish you would. Gakpo to score first and Liverpool to win 3-2 is 75-1. And Salah to score first and Liverpool to win 3-2 is 40-1. So two nice little bets there potentially just to have an interest in the game. Doesn't need a huge amount of money to be deployed on it, but if you wanted to have a fun bet just as an interest and stuff like that, let me know, of course, what your thoughts are. What do you think of the lineup? Is it a case that we could be trying Gakpo in the middle, Nunez out on the left where he's done most of his work? We have found as well with Nunez as well, if you look at a lot of his goal scoring, a lot of his successes come from when he's out there on the left side, not when he's central. So that's something to be aware of as well. But let me know what you thought of the formation. Let me know what you think the result is going to be, what your prediction is for the game. I don't need you to let me know what you think of the season so far, but this is an opportunity maybe to put down a score, get 3 points, and close that gap with the top four. Really, really, really need it. Morris in the comments. Fiorentina versus Sampdoria tonight too. Oh, good Lord, yeah, absolutely. We'll be covering that on the show. We'll keep an eye on it, yeah. But really, really important to get 3 points this weekend, Reds, and get back to winning ways, lay down a market, and then let's see what happens on the two derbies. Anything can happen in them, and we'll give our predictions for those later on the Thursday tier talk. Until next time, folks, hit a like on the video on the way out, of course, and if you could share it on your socials and try and grow it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. We'll be back later, 9 p.m. Join us for Thursday tier talk, and about 9:40 the boys will be coming on to trash out this North London derby. Who even knows? Dazzler might be in the corner of Spurs. Heavy links there with Man United now and Kane at the moment, so he might be flying the Kane flag. We'll have to wait and see. Any word on any midfielders coming in? No, nothing yet at the moment, Morris. I know we've been linked with Casado. I know we've been linked with a number of midfielders at the moment. There's talk that there might be a deal there for Matheus Nunes, but a lot of it seems to be pointing towards the summer. The usual thing with us, summer FC. Very, very discouraging. But we shall see. We shall see. Until next time, folks, a pleasure as always. Sorry about the delivery that arrived. It's absolutely belting down outside, so I couldn't leave it outside. And then, of course, our mascot here, our good luck charm, Ronnie, decided he wanted to take my headphones with him. Until next time, we'll talk to you this evening at 9.